Yeah, it's Elliot Wilson, Rap Radar Report. What's going on Monday night, 7 p.m. Channel 106, man. I'm saucing on you, man. I got an interview with Post Malone coming up on this special program, man. It's my first co-host here, too, man. That's what makes it extra legendary. You hear that laugh, man? Yo, they call me a legend out here, man. I call myself the GOAT. I've been doing this for a minute in this hip-hop game. I get a lot of respect, but it's rare that I get to sit across from a gentleman who has the same kind of respect in this culture. He's a DJ, he's a broadcaster, he's one of the strongest forces in the UK, documenting this culture for so many years. He's got a new book called Hip Hop Raised Me. It's very prophetically titled. It's fucking like 700 pages. Look, check out this book, man. Look at that book. That's Hip Hop Raised Me, man. DJ Semtex is here. Sam, what up, baby?
Yo, man.
Ooh, we blasting off, baby.
Yo, I just want to say, like, I really appreciate this. This is an honor, man.
This is your arena, though. You're a broadcaster. I'm a novice.
The intro was amazing, by the way. I should have been the intro for the book. Like.
But when it comes to the broadcasting thing, I'm a novice, man. Talk a little bit about people that don't know, like, your impact across the pond, man, in this rap game and how you've been documenting our culture for so long.
I got the premier hip hop show in the UK.
Ooh, talk that talk, Sam. Did you hear that, Gary?
Premier hip hop show.
The premier hip hop show.
I heard it.
Some other guys do rap shows. I do the hip hop show.
I forgot to warn you. Semtex is also shy like me. Very modest. He has humility pie for dessert, but no, that's it.
Premier hip hop show every Friday from 10 and 1 Extra. I've been doing it for like 15 years.
Woo!
Interviewed pretty much everybody apart from Dr. Dre. Worked with a lot of artists, DJ'd with a lot of artists on stage.
Yes, sir.
Brought a lot of artists through before the deal, before the hype, before anybody else cared. That kind of moment, you know, when people look at you.
You the plug.
When people look at you like, yo, you sure about that Semtex? You sure about that guy? You know, like, I don't know about that guy, you know. And then it pops off and then they tell you, yo, that's big, you know. You know, like, come on,
who
man.
are some artists like that? We'll get to the book, Hip Hop Raising, which is amazing, but just off top, who are some of those artists? Like, I definitely connect you with Kanye, Cole. Like, what artists do you think that you definitely was like early on and like you helped really build a strong relationship and like help their career a lot, especially getting their recognition in this UK market, you know?
Kanye West, Drake, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, Joey Badass. I mean, pretty, you know.
That's a hell of a list.
Yeah,
man.
it goes on. It goes on. You know, and they'll all testify to that as well. They've all said it. They've either said it or it's been written, you know. And
I remember you coming to New York in my office, and you were one of the few people when we started Rap Radar, my
I was there on the day it started.
You were there the very day I launched rapradar.com, March 9th, 2009. Semtex came to the office, and we chopped it up. And you was telling me about Joey Badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's how crazy it was. Like you was always way ahead, man. Always guy. So why finally take all that knowledge? Obviously, did your thing in the broadcasting arena. What made you decide that it was time to be an author?
Well, I feel like our culture doesn't get represented the way it should all the time. I feel like there's a lot of magazines that mock it, that don't take it seriously, and I think it's so rich. And I think there's a wealth of greatness that comes out of the culture that I just wanted to put it from my perspective. You know, I wanted to tell the story from someone who's worked with artists, someone who's grown up on it, someone who's been affected and raised by hip-hop, educated, changed my life. So I'm pro hip-hop. Like, I'll never, you know, put a bad slant on it. I'll never, you know, and I just feel there's a need for the positive out there. And there's also a need to document what's happened. I think everybody should write a book and tell their story about what they're into and what they've done and what they appreciate and what they respect. Because if we don't write our own history, who's going to do it?
Yeah, no. But you didn't. It's not just about your story, right? It's like so many contributions from others. Why did you try to make this such a like super expansive project?
Because I think everyone's voice is important, and it's important that it's not for me to tell the story. It's not for me to be like 1,000% this is my opinion. This is what people have said.
Yeah.
You know, over the years, you know yourself, you've done interviews, and coming from a journalist background, when you see it in black and white, it's very different when you do it on air, on audio. Mm-hmm. So looking back at some of the interviews and hearing some of the things that people have said, I'm like, this is gold. Like, some of these artists don't even say that stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I guarantee you, some of these artists who have interviewed over the years, if you used to show them the interview, they'd be like shocked. Like,
yeah, because it captures a certain time.
Yeah, either because of their innocence or because of their hunger. You know, the moment is all you've got. Like, you can't download it, you can't replicate it. The moment is that one moment where you get that artist before they pop off. It's the beautiful thing.
So that's the thing you get the most reward for, right? I guess seeing it before the world sees it.
Yeah. Before you get the marketing plan.
Yeah. Do you get mad the ones you think that like are gonna be it and they don't live up to their potential? Does that frustrate you?
Nah, I'm not mad at that, because I feel that the ones who do it and the ones that you know are gonna do it. You know, and the ones that, you know, maybe they didn't get to that upper echelon, but they made some dope joints, or they said some things. It don't really matter, you know. I think
they still got some joints on that Semtex playlist.
Exactly, it's on the hard drive.
What are some of your specific favorite moments in the book that you look back on? Like, wow, this is like, if you had to show somebody just like a couple of 10 pages out of this exhaustive 448 page.
The concept of rap privilege.
The concept of rap privilege.
Yeah, because, you know, I flipped the whole thing about white privilege. And so basically the idea being of rap privilege is that if you sign to Jay-Z, you're privileged as an artist because you get access to producers. You know, you're going to get next to Timbaland, Swiss Beats. You know,
everybody will pick up that phone call. Yeah. You're
going to get radio play. You know, it's like when someone signs to Rock Nation or, you know, Rockefeller back in the day. And it spreads. So Jay-Z signs Kanye sets up good music. Like there's almost like a legacy, generations of rap privilege that go back and forth, because in the same way that the artists benefit from Hove benefits from them. Yeah. Because he's going to get designer on a record or get that look before other people.
The family tree goes down. Yeah.
Like Travis Scott was on Magna Carta and everything. So, and that also makes Hove even more immortal, you know. So
even more immortal, yeah.
So Dre, Birdman, Jay-Z, there's only a few guys that have got that extended flow of relationships. And I did these flow charts in the book. Like, I drew the book company crazy. I was like, no, it's got no, you missed out this. No. No, but then it goes to like J. Cole, and, you know, like, and that for me, that it was just, for me, that was fascinating to see myself.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, there's so many elements. Like, some people ask me, like, you know, Elliot, you should write a book about hip hop. Obviously, we, you know, all of us, like you said, from our perspective, need to tell the story. But your book is so expansive in terms of developing all the different elements in one place, and like, you know, not only your interviews, but great artwork from great photographers like you know, Jeanette Beckman and Chimo Do. And how did you get other people to buy into the vision and really contribute? And like, how did you make their work and get interspersed with your contributions to the culture? How did you make it all merge and like mesh together well?
You know what it is, right? It's a crazy thing where it's almost like the stars align, and then when you present the vision, and I think if you're sincere about what you're doing, people want to get involved. And everybody was cool. We didn't get no rejections. There was nobody, honestly, nobody was like, no, we're not doing that. Everybody was cool. And, you know, I'd say to the photographers, I want that shot. I need that. Like, you know, and an important part of it for me is the shots by Normski and Elliott, because they're UK photographers who captured US artists, and the images have never been seen before. So there's shots of the Wu-Tang in London. The picture of the Notorious B.I.G., that's in Shepherd's Bush, West London. Like, people don't know that.
You don't get that, no.
Nah, and you don't see the contact sheet like you do in the book. I got shots of the Tribe Called Quest, never been seen. And the same. So for me, I was like, let's get it out there. And also towards the end, like, we've got some new photographers in the UK that are popping. Like, shout out to Ims from Places and Faces, shout out to Ray Fiasco, and they've done some amazing shots. So to have kids who are like not even in their 20s on the come up, like next to like classic photographers and everything, for me it felt like, you know, it's what hip hop's all about.
Why do you think with all the well, first of all, like you say, hip hop raised me. Like, why do you think this music was your calling? Like, it was going to be your life? Because like you've been so committed to it for so long.
It woke me up. Like the words of Chuck D. Like it made sense.
Who does the forward in your book, Mr. Chuck D?
Yeah. and with the Jungle Brothers, the track "Black Is Black" featuring Q-Tip.
Q-Tip's first appearance, right?
Educated me. Like, it was just what they were saying. It made me read about other people, because, you know, not everybody has that background where you get taught everything in school, or, you know, it's just that. It just spoke to me. It's just like, I got the call. That's what it was.
What was your first experience like as a DJ or getting on the radio that you felt like, okay, this is really the beginning of this. This feels real. Like, I want this, and I want to be the biggest DJ in this market. Like, what were the first encouraging signs that you felt like I can really do this shit?
rocking a party. It wasn't the radio thing. I still don't think I've perfected it. Like the radio thing is like every week I'm like I could have done better. Like I've never. I've done it about twice. So it's like that was a good show. Like I'm always like it could always be better. But the first time I did a night, it was in the hood. In where I grew up, Manchester, and it was like it's the most ghetto rave. It was like the equivalent to doing a party in the project.
Yeah.
And you got gangsters there. You got every kind of person there. And I was DJing from 10 till 6 in the morning.
Woo.
That's the best training ever, and I killed it. Like that's it. Like
Carrie's getting excited. She likes parties like that.
No. Yo, it's raw. It's grimy.
Smell some reefer in the air.
Yeah, you're gonna get bottled if you're not playing, and you gotta be able to play reggae, soul. Like it was like so what?
You know what year this was?
This was like 94, 95.
So what was the record? The Nas Big? Like what was the record that took it off? Wu-Tang was you remember the record that kind of shut it down?
I was killing it with the house parties, but the mixtapes, like I was introducing people to Wu-Tang, Protect Your Neck, and stuff like that, Tribe Called Quest, and everything. Like the hip hop was for the mixtapes, but for the parties you had to play everything. You got to keep the girls dancing. And as a hip hop DJ, it's the most important lessons, man. You know, you've been to those events where you see just a bunch of guys nodding their head, and it's like.
Well, most of them, to be fair, most of them are like that. That's the thing.
Yeah, but I didn't get into it for that. I want to see riots. I want to see like mosh pits. You know, I want to see people bouncing off the walls. I want to see girls dancing. I want to like every party. People need to be able to come up to you and say, "Yo, you tore that up."
Yeah.
And I did it just Friday at the Skepta show. 10,000 people at Alexander Palace. All on Instagram, by the way.
I told you he's humble. What's that Instagram, Semtex? DJ Semtex?
Yeah.
SEMTX?
The evidence is on there.
Smash out is there. But what I love about you, you know, today I got a great interview with Post Malone, you know, another young artist out there killing it. Me and you, like, you know, we know so much about the past and we love the history, but we adapt to what's going on now. Like, how do you do that? How do you still stay inspired by this new generation and really connect?
I think it's about exciting artists, and I think as long as artists are doing stuff that's off the wall, like, you know, as long as you got artists that, you know, hip hop's the voice of the voiceless. So as long as people are saying things that need to be said that aren't being said, and I think the next few years is going to be even more apparent. That I like that. Like I'm just a fan. It's like I don't like football. I don't like sport. So it's probably the equivalent to the most avid football player or avid football fan or soccer fan or basketball. You know, like this
that's sports fanatic kind of thing.
That's what I am for hip hop, basically.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. Like I just love everything that happens. You know, as a DJ, it's about rocking the crowd. So they like that, play that. You know, like there's some tracks like.
Yeah, like name some songs of this year maybe that jumped out at you from new artists that you definitely get on in the mix and.
I mean, Yachty, like, yo, everyone's dissing Yachty.
Lil Yachty.
I like Yachty, man. I ain't got no problem with Lil Yachty.
Lil Boat, Steve Semtex,
I fully endorse Lil Yachty.
But my boy Post, we're gonna get to this interview. Post Malone, they tear him up a lot out here, Sam. They tear him down.
But I love, and you know what? I put their shows on in the UK, both Post Malone and Lil Yachty, and they both tore it down, and both shows were sold out. Yeah. So, yo, somebody likes it. You know? I don't care about, you know, the speculators and the purists, the chin strokers. I don't care about that. I like what I like, you know.
I like it too, and I like Post Malone, man. That's why I had him on, man. I wish he was here live, man. That we had to pre-tape it, but it's an incredible interview, man. His album's coming out. Stoney, you know, we're gonna get to this Post Malone interview, but also a lot of big records coming out, Sam. We gotta talk about that, man. We gotta talk about
Ye.
Kanye's your guy. He's making some wild moves out here, or some quiet moves now. Gotta talk about Ye. Damn, it's a long list we gotta talk about. First, we gotta talk about his book, Hip Hop Raised Me. Let's not forget that. Gotta talk about Cole's album out of nowhere.
And we've got to talk about the audacity of Cole talking on Ye.
Cole talking on Ye. Cole talking on Wale.
I mean,
that rhymes with that.
That's that was more inspiration. I think that was dope. Like what he did to do that, and I think what Wale did back was dope.
Okay.
But the shots at Ye, man, that was a bit.
You don't like that?
That was a hard pill to swallow, man.
That's like your two sons fighting.